Right now, today, there's a very good chance you are watering your lawn wrong. Not because you're careless, because you're following a schedule your sprinkler system has been running unchanged since May. Here's the problem with that. The lawn underneath that schedule has changed 3 times since May, and if nobody adjusted the water to match it, you are either drowning roots that don't need it or starving a lawn that's quietly failing right under a system that says everything's fine. I've walked hundreds of yards in August over 35 years, and I can tell you almost every single one of them was running a summer watering schedule that made sense in June and stopped making sense sometime in July. I'm going to show you exactly what changes in your lawn's water needs this month, 2 free tests that tell you the truth in under a minute, and the adjustment that prevents a mistake you won't even see until next spring. August of 2019, a property outside Auburn, Alabama. My client, Russ Kowalski, ran a landscaping supply business himself, so this wasn't a man new to lawns. He had an irrigation system on a fixed summer schedule, 20 minutes, every zone, every single day, set back in May and never touched since. He called me because his Zoysia had developed a spongy feel underfoot, and patches were starting to thin, despite him watering more than anyone else on his street. In his mind, more water was the safe answer. If the lawn's struggling, water more. That logic feels right. It's also exactly backwards in this specific case. I walked his yard with a soil probe, 6 inches down, still saturated from the day before. I pulled the probe and looked at the root system where it had come through the plug, noticeably shallow. Most of the root mass was sitting in the top 2 inches of soil, nowhere close to where a healthy Zoysia root system should be by August. He wasn't underwatering, he was overwatering, on a schedule built for June conditions, running through soil and air conditions that had already shifted twice since then. Here's what actually changes in August that most irrigation schedules never account for. University of Florida IFAS turfgrass research explains that as daytime highs moderate slightly from their July peak and overnight temperatures begin dropping, evapotranspiration rates, how fast water leaves the soil through evaporation and plant uptake combined, decrease measurably compared to peak summer conditions. The lawn is still using water, it's just not pulling and losing it at the same rate it was during the hottest stretch of the year. Meanwhile, the irrigation schedule sitting on most homeowners' controllers was set once, in late spring or early summer, calibrated for peak heat conditions, and never touched again for the rest of the season. The result is exactly what I found on Russ's lawn, a lawn receiving July-level water in August conditions, soil sitting saturated more often than not, and roots with no incentive to grow deeper, because water is always sitting right there at the surface, available without effort. If you watched my deep watering video earlier this season, you already know that shallow, frequent watering trains roots to stay lazy, to sit near the surface instead of extending down into the soil profile. August is exactly where that mistake compounds the most, because it's the month homeowners are least likely to be paying attention to their schedule. Summer's winding down, attention drifts, the timer just keeps running. The test that tells you the truth, the screwdriver check. Forget your irrigation timer for a moment. Here's how to find out what your lawn actually needs right now, not what a controller was told to do back in May. Take a plain screwdriver, 6 to 8 inches long, and push it into your lawn in 2 or 3 different spots around the yard, not just one. If it slides in easily to a full 6 inches with light pressure, your soil has adequate moisture at root depth. You do not need to water today, regardless of what your timer is set to do. If it stops or meets real resistance before 4 inches, your root zone is dry, and it's time to water. Do this test in the morning, before your irrigation runs, 2 or 3 times across a week. This gives you your lawn's actual rhythm under real August conditions, not a guess, not a schedule somebody set months ago and forgot about. The second confirmation, the footprint test. Here's a second way to check yourself, and this one requires no tools at all. Walk across your lawn and look back at your footprints. If the grass springs back up within 30 seconds, your lawn has adequate moisture right now. If the footprint stays visibly compressed for a few minutes afterward, that's the grass telling you it's under moisture stress, and your next watering session should happen soon, not in 3 more days on autopilot. Run this check every couple of days through August. Paired with the screwdriver test, you will know exactly where your lawn stands without ever guessing. The actual number, what August watering should look like. Texas A&M AgriLife's turfgrass guidelines for August generally point toward 1 to 1.25 inches of water per week for warm season grasses under moderate conditions, delivered in 2 deep sessions, not 5 or 6 shallow ones scattered across the week. That is a meaningful step down from peak July recommendations in many regions, where higher heat and higher evapotranspiration push that number noticeably higher. Here's the practical version of that number. If you're currently running short cycles every day, or close to it, shift to 2 sessions per week, each one running long enough to put down a 1/2 to 3/4 inch per session. Early morning, ideally between 5 and 8 a.m., before evaporation losses climb through the heat of the day, and before extended overnight leaf wetness invites fungal disease. How this differs by grass type, because it's not one number for everyone. Tall fescue and Kentucky bluegrass, cool season grasses. By August, these are often still working through heat stress rather than in active peak growth. They generally want consistent moisture without extremes. The screwdriver test matters especially here because visual wilting can lag behind actual root zone dryness in fescue specifically. Bermuda, warm season, deep-rooted, and generally the most drought-tolerant of the common lawn grasses once established. Bermuda can often handle a slightly longer interval between deep waterings than other types, and overwatering Bermuda in August is one of the more common mistakes I see because homeowners assume a warm season grass in summer needs constant water when established Bermuda often needs less than people think. Zoysia. This is Russ's situation exactly. Zoysia has a naturally dense, spongy growth habit that can mask early symptoms of shallow root overwatering because the surface still looks and feels lush even while the root system underneath is shallow and struggling. Zoysia specifically rewards the deep and infrequent approach more than almost any other common lawn type. St. Augustine, higher water requirement than Bermuda or Zoysia generally, and more prone to fungal issues if watered in the evening rather than early morning. The 1 to 1.25 inch range still applies, but timing discipline matters more here than for the other warm season types. 5 mistakes I see repeated every August. Mistake 1. Leaving a spring-calibrated schedule unchanged straight through August. This is Russ's mistake, and it's the most common one by far. Set a reminder to check your controller every few weeks through summer, not just once in May. Mistake 2. Watering in the evening instead of early morning. Evening watering leaves grass blades wet overnight, which extends the window fungal disease has to establish. Early morning before the heat of the day is consistently the better window. Mistake 3. Judging water needs purely by how the lawn looks, rather than testing the root zone directly. Some grass types like Zoysia can visually mask underlying moisture problems. The screwdriver test bypasses guesswork entirely. Mistake 4. Reacting to one hot afternoon by adding an extra watering cycle that week, then never removing it once temperatures ease. Small additions like this stack up over a season into a significantly overwatered schedule nobody intended to create. Mistake 5. Swinging too far the other direction out of fear of overwatering and cutting water dramatically in August. This isn't the month to underwater either, especially for cool season grasses still working through heat stress. The goal is depth and frequency adjustment. Deep, less frequent sessions, not a blanket reduction in total water. Why this matters beyond just getting through August comfortably. Rutgers Center for Turfgrass Science has documented that root depth built or lost during late summer directly affects a lawn's resilience heading into fall stress and eventual winter dormancy. A lawn with roots trained shallow by months of frequent light watering enters fall carrying a smaller reserve system, less equipped to handle the fall transition, and less prepared for the following summer's heat. Fixing your watering pattern now isn't only an August adjustment, it's setting the depth your root system carries into next year, whether it goes into fall with roots reaching down 6 inches or stuck at 2. Russ adjusted his system that week, from daily short cycles down to 2 deep sessions. By the following spring, his root system had extended nearly 3 inches deeper than what I'd measured that August. The spongy feel was gone, the thinning patches filled back in on their own, without a single additional product applied. He still tells people the entire fix cost him nothing but a screwdriver and 5 minutes of attention he hadn't been giving his controller. Check your soil this week. Don't trust a schedule you set back in May and haven't looked at since. Next video, I'm covering the 2-week fall prep window and why the aeration to overseeding sequence timing matters just as much as getting your watering right does this month. Deep roots built now are exactly what that video builds on. Grab a screwdriver, check your soil, adjust from there. See you in the next one.